Me, Victor, and Gregory Lance, I'm talking about 2B Crip people. We went and got a map from the doggone, a map from the gas station to find out where she lived in comparison to where we lived on the east side. And we got that ink pen and chalked out how to get to their house way over there on Buckley. Way over there on Bonza. And two of the brothers lived on Imperial and Broadway. So we had that map all the way from our house to their house. We had our little suits on and everything, and we marched all the way through the rolling 60s up that hill to meet that girl, and their mama was there, and she was impressed. She said, Lord have mercy, these little boys done drew a map just to get here.
Yeah, make video, you know, this is for sure. Yeah, make video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. Yeah, make video. You know, this is for sure. Yeah, make video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto. Hold up. For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
But listen, at that time, there wasn't no rolling 60s yet, right?
No. There's no rolling 60s.
What year was this? And describe that area.
That was 69.
Mm-hmm. What kind of area was that back then?
Heaven everywhere. There was heaven. There wasn't no rolling 60s. Y'all know about it. It was heaven over there everywhere. No, for real. It was heaven. And we were still youngsters, so we used to go right up there on Buckley. With our mom, and we'd be in the car, we go down that hill, and there people still be going, wee! So that tell you, they wasn't that mature.
What was the racial makeup of that area at that time?
I don't know, it seemed like it was maybe 50-50. Because a lot of white people was married to black people. And in that area, it was a lot of black people, but they was the ones, the thinkers. So it might have been 50-50. We was coming by 69 now. We had Ladera, all that, but from 65 to 69, man, we took over a lot of ground. And basically, it was still pristine clean over there, man.
Was this girl going to that same Catholic school as you, or she was going somewhere else?
She went to Notre Dame over there in Culver City. And I used to have to go pick her up, you know. Before I had a car, I used to have to catch the bus and ride back home with her.
Did she have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, she had a little brother named James, James Lacy, and she had a sister named Jennifer. Then they had a little baby sister, Dana, but she was only 2. And
tell us about James.
Well, as a little child, he's a normal child.
Oh, so you met him like pre-teens?
Yeah, when I met him, he had to be 9. He's still playing Cowboys and Indians with the white boy next door. Yes, sir. And I was like the teenager to him, right? 14, 15, 16, 17. So he was the little one.
And you were full-fledged Crippin' at this time?
Yeah, by 16, I was on my way. Yeah.
So it'd be safe to say that little James' first Crip he met was Raymond Cook, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he didn't know I was Crippin', though. He didn't know I was Crippin' until after I got out of YA. He didn't know Victor was a Crip. He didn't know he seen Tookie before. He didn't know that until he seen him again. It's like, y'all been over my damn house.
Well, just like Hoover Joe, James Lacy gives a lot of his Crip influence to this guy named Raymond Cook.
Well, I used to
Are
be.
you guilty of charge or what?
I'm guilty because I'm like his big brother. And that's why I tried to teach him revolution. Aside from, I never taught, we wasn't set tripping. We wasn't doing that. Crip was a Crip. Anywhere on earth, we never heard of Crip fighting Crip. The worst thing happened to Crip was Pyrus and Crip splitting. We had the whole city, CC, Chocolate City, Crip all the way. So I tried to give him a good education. And I really, since he was so young, when I left, when I came back, he was already in trouble. And some of the skills he had were beneficial, like white collar crime. Right? So we wasn't going to discourage him on doing things like that because he already made up his mind. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to make it legitimately in his mind. And you couldn't get him out of that.
Were you bringing around the old school all-star Crips?
Nope. They might come visit my house, and he might be there. I never took. Take.
I'm letting you know that he says you introduced him to the household names of the West Side Crips.
Listen.
You did that.
All right, hold it. Remember I told you I knew Blackie when he was at 9 or 10? Some of the most famous Crips I knew them since they was 9 or 10, so he knew them too. He just didn't know they was Crips. Victor's a Crip, damn. That's what happened to him. I didn't introduce him to nothing. When I was in college, I caught them going over to the block on Western in 104. I pulled up in the car and said, him and Steve, maybe 8 Ball. I said, where y'all going, man? Because I knew that neighborhood, and they like, oh, we going over to the block with Melvin. We catching up with Tookie. I'm like, man, what you doing hanging with Took? Don't you know Took is a little older than me? Yeah, we know. Oh, Took cool. So we threw him in the car and drove him over there and dropped him off, all right? I didn't want him gangbanging because I already knew what was going to happen. Odie already got killed. He had the same kind of spirit as Odie. That's why we would start taking him to the college campus. Even when I graduated, he put on a damn uniform. That's how crazy he was. Excuse me. But anyway, nah, man. Look, I didn't. My girlfriend, this is sister. She might have noticed some changes in me through the years, but she didn't know I was a gangbanger either. Right? She probably can't even imagine that I was a gangbanger right now. You understand? Like, not him. What he doing? Well, much less the people that she knew that she thought was nice young men. She didn't know. They was nice men, but she didn't know that they was a gang. Hey, they moved right in the middle of 8th Street, around the corner from Monster Cody, and she did not know that was a gang. All right?
Oh, after they moved off of Buffalo?
They moved right over there. Bam! When Monster used to ride a little gold Stingray with his little... like that. So, my life was like that before I kind of like messed it up. Which I don't know if I could really say I messed up my life, but I did make some bad choices, and most of it was rooted in emotions, and too many hit kicks in the head will mess you up.
What other friends of James Lacy did you know as his peers?
Those are the only ones I knew
Willis
when he
Vine?
became Crip.
Willis Vine?
Oh, yeah, but I didn't hang with James when he was little. When he became a Crip or a gangbang, now I remember them dudes because I used to have to, if I see them, I pick them up. Right? Take them where they gotta go. Get that old weak lecture that they gonna listen to. Yeah. and stuff like that. But then after a while, they start mingling with my generations because they was like fresh from the street. And they was putting some of the older brothers down, especially on the women, like, nah, don't mess with her. Boo, boo, boo. They was pretty sharp for youngsters. It's too bad they took a lot of stuff wrong. Like, they start robbing anything federal because somebody told them that if you go to the federal pen, you get better service and a better education. That didn't mean go rob no damn post office. Well, they gonna rob something. You gotta watch what you tell people. You feel me?
Is there anything you can tell us about Willis Vine?
Not really, other than I remember the name, and when you say that, I get a big hole in my head. Not because I don't remember. I remember, but it's so many things packed in. They're like, I'm in there, I need to see a picture of it. Then it'll come back. Because they didn't show me a picture of something. I'm so glad.
He was up there with James Lacy in that Buckler area. I thought you might know.
Well, if he was playing with him, I heard that name before though, see? But I had to see and look. Cause when it come to, what's that park? Ladera Park. I don't know who park that is, but I know we was up at that park all the time. Matter of fact, Bimbo don't live far from the park. Black and them, they had brims up in there to come visit.
Who were some of the other big names around here back then?
Warlock, Sweetback, James Cunningham, Big Bob, Bimbo.
No, if I was an ego tripper, I'd have said that was my part. But I ain't an ego tripper, so I ain't saying nothing like that. Cause that's y'all park, ain't it?
When you call James Lacy's bud today, does he respond to that?
Of course.
You know what the streets call him, right?
No, Warlock. All right, yeah. I see, yeah. Just like when you call that, I seen the brother before. I heard his name be like Bing, but last thing I remember of Steve, he got out. I was writing to him a little. And then when he got out, he called me and said, man, I'm in Jamaica. I got a farm. And then he mumbled for a minute. He said, I got hogs on my farm.
When you say Steve, you talking about Steve-O?
That's what they call him?
Yeah.
Yeah. They was like little brothers, man.
That means he was running around all those years without legal documents.
Yeah.
He was a legal alien.
Yeah, like Blackie in there.
And sent him back to Jamaica after he paroled.
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
Cause a lot of cats I see get out and they're not ready for this.
No, it's just strange because you kind of like, when you talk about immigration, you automatically think Hispanics. You don't think that blacks or dudes that were in the streets gangbanging are getting deported to
other places.
Other places.
Yeah, it threw everybody a loop when they found out Blackie was Canadian.
Oh, big loop.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't throw us for a loop. Like I tell you, my mother was the first West Indian probably in Watts. So when Steve came, he was probably like the second West Indian Crip. So, you know, I'm going to plot. All right, nigga, let's go do some Sidney Poitier on these some bitches. Oops, I didn't mean to say. Yes, but I'm just, being for real, you know, you had to monitor stuff. And, oh, man. Is that who Bud got arrested with?
I don't know if he got arrested with Steve.
Not Steve, the other one. The one that you mentioned is Willie.
No.
Yeah, because a lot of they little homies was getting killed by the police because when they try to pull up on them and get them, they start dumping. I know about 3, 4 of them was back to back, like he got it this week, he got it that week. So that was probably that Tony Stacy era where people was doing a lot of robbery and shooting.
What was the police gunning us down like that back then? Like they do now? You hear about it more often now, it seems.
Well, they deviant like this. They deviant. 77 police precinct is notorious. They used to love to bebop a Negro, beat a nigga down before you get out of high school, have your face all disfigured and stuff. They used to love to catch. Even the people who supposed to be toll peoples, if they catch black people at night walking in South Central and you ain't got no backup and you drunk, you gonna get stomped over there. So yeah, with the police, would take you to the Nickerson Guards and tell people you a Crip. What do you think about that? Yeah, some of them fools dumb enough to take off on you too. Some of them was wise enough. Are you cool? They ain't gonna tell us who to beat up. Same with us. Police can't tell me who I need to beat up. Same in jail, they running it like that. You know, some people went for it. That's how Raymond got to. First they said he was talking to the police. How is he not gonna talk to police if the police pull up and say, hey, come here? Oh, I seen him talking to the police. Oh, he's with the Brims now. Oh, he snitched on me. That's enough to get you killed. Them rumors can get you killed, you know. So I didn't really like that. None of that situation where we had to. Difference between now and then is we used to regulate rumors. People used to know how to keep your name out their mouth. Especially, I think that comes from the avenues. Don't say nothing about no avenue if you ain't ready to get paid a visit one day. They kept that one good, like, you know, Hey, you might have said something about that fool 5 years ago. You don't know the guy. How did he know you said that? And he up in your face. What you gonna do? He bigger than Raymond. What you gonna do? I decided that. Well, that wasn't me. That kind of stuff, man. So today they don't do that as much because they probably got more to lose. But when in high school and all that, they used to regulate rumors. And I could see why. But I didn't like the whole thing with the Raymond thing. He didn't have to, I don't know. I could say he didn't have to go like that. But we were being manipulated by outside forces. And we're more mature enough now to know how to safeguard your people. Because we're older now. We think rational a little bit more. But back then we was getting manipulated by anybody who had a lot of cash or they was working for City Hall. The hustlers really faded us because we were the military. We got faded. Mike, they say, well, Mike was the hustler. Well, leave that alone. You, meaning us as a group, we did get played by the hustler because they were smoother than most of the rank and file. Just like I don't agree with Babaloo when he said most Crips wasn't on the level of revolution. How would you know, Babaloo? Did you talk to most Crips? Nah, ain't nothing to take from Babaloo. I remember seeing him the first time. He looked like a baby almond rod. That dude was big and he was sharp. So first time I seen him at Regina Che. He looked like he was guarding the door. You know, that's girls' high school. As soon as I seen him, I said, I'm gonna have to report this to Tookie.
So you didn't meet AC as a Crip. You met him as a Pyru.
I didn't know what I met. at the time I first seen him. At the time I first seen him, he was still a Crip, but I didn't know him personally. So I'm walking up there with another Crip and some young ladies who went there, and he's like at the door, like he's security or something. And you know, he's like about what, 6'5", 6'6". He was big. He looked 15, but he looked like a man, and he was dressed to the T, you know. So I had to put a little asterisk on there. I had to report that, like, man, I seen some dude look like he might. I didn't know he was a Crip at the time or a pirate.
So look, you take offense when people say Crips were teenage delinquents instead of revolutionaries, or was that a gradual evolution for the Crips to get to that evolutionary stage once they hit prison and self-educated?
The original Crips, they had a certain culture that they got from the neighborhood they came from that was dominated by what they called the super gang. And that super gang just happened to be Bunchy Carter's Panthers, Munson in there. Some of the secrets, I don't want to tell their secrets, but they already told it. They already told, well, I'll let them tell, because stuff that happened in L.A. can still get you killed today. My life been miserable ever since I was a baby Panther, especially when I went to college, because we always had people trying to run up on you with that, you a Panther, you orangutan shit. And why they don't want to have unity and shit. And you can't tell no Crip no shit like that. Because we was putting hands on people in college. Oh, nigga, you ain't down. You know what I'm saying?
So was it just a select few Crips that had the revolutionary mindset?
Yeah, the ones closest to Raymond, the ones closest in that age range that was there when it first started. That's how they had unity. That's how they would have worked. Bulldog wanted to be a part of the super gang. Who was that? Munson. Well, who was Munson? Bunchy's troops. Who was Bunchy? The leader of the Black Panthers. Who slapped Karanga? It wasn't Bunchy Carter. See what I'm saying? He got the blame for that. And he could have got killed for that. Because the orangutans, as they call them, was gladiators. And what's the other one? They are Vikings. They wasn't no, they call them gladiators for a reason. They was buff. So they, you know, you don't even know who you be talking to. You know what I mean? Like So
wow, a lot of these revolutionaries had street gang backgrounds.
Yes, sir. And the revolution made the street gang thing kind of submerge for the cause. But once somebody cracked that shit, the only thing came out of it was Crip. Because all the rest of them was shooting each other up and acting goddamn fool. And we was actually got our hearts broke as young children to see that happen. So it's kind of hard for them older brothers to tell us anything because we was really mad at them for fucking up the unity. Plus, they wasn't any more moral than we were. So that's a double whammy. How you gonna tell me not to do this and you doing that, but you better get up out my face, this script, that kind of attitude. So in the beginning, Crips was a rebelling against the failure of the revolution. So we had the troops. We was tired of looking videos. We had an army. We could do shit. Mind you, we were children. We didn't know all the dangers in that type of thinking. First thing a Panther tell you, where your underground bunkers. Well, they got some on the east side, but we wasn't thinking like that. We was just thinking we could control the streets. We ain't scared of the police. You never want to come from Bonzilla, you already been through tactics of terrorizing the police just for fun. Calling the police up saying somebody got in a fight with their wife at an abandoned house, and when the police come, somebody bust caps on. That's Bonzilla. Bonzilla has some bad actors up there. That's why the police don't be wanting to come to the same neighborhoods if something really happened.
Let me ask you about that 1988 article. What was that day about? What were you guys doing to get the media's attention?
Well, we already had the media's attention by having a so-called We were in charge of the collegiate movement of the revolution at the time that all the colleges were fighting against apartheid. So the main vanguard of that movement during that era was us. We was walking the walk. We wasn't just talking the talk. If you're going to say that's the oppressor, we was stepping to the politicians. Man, maybe I shouldn't tell y'all this, but the police know. Tell you something, people. If we seen a brother beating up his wife in public, we'd roll on his ass. If we seen a brother trying to rob elders at night, we was still cripping on you. We'd roll on you. You ain't robbing our elders, not in our hood. We'd pull over in that red car the blue car we had with the wheels, with the blue trench coat and the blue bebop and the rest of the homies pop out. Better not be robbing no elders at night, because we remember you go rob somebody's parents and see what happened to yours. You see? So this is some of the things that was going on, which you have to understand, man. Certain senators almost lost their life trying to talk that apartheid stuff in our face. We cripped on them. What you call crip and I call crip is, we stood up. Where everybody else was scared to stand up, we was cripping before. We wasn't scared of the white people who say, fuck you. You step through them, they do that now. I seen one do it when Vicky Lindsay was alive. Some big old dude from SC, rich white man, came up in there talking about, oh, we're going to do it this way, and if anybody has disagreements, you just get out the way. I don't know who the brother was. I don't know if it was 107 Hoover or whatever, but they had a crib 20 feet away from that person who said that. He took one step and slid all up on that big fool. And the black police said, that's what your ass get. You can't talk to these people like that. My example is it. We was the ones, we had the Coalition Against Police Abuse. We was stepping. In the 70s, that we was the ones stepping. That's why they was giving them money for program. We was the ones stepping to the white people. We the reasons why black bus drivers got jobs on Vermont coming through there. We the reason why Pepperdine University had to move to Malibu. Might not have been a good thing, but I'm just telling you. We took over that area. Tookie and them wasn't stupid. Tookie was laying down a structure. Raymond damn sure was laying down a structure. A lot of these other people didn't want structure. Well, it's not good to have a whole bunch of different kind of crips. That's called balkanization. It's like you breaking down into parts. You're going to get weaker. But some people went to school and was taught that Plato philosophy of government thing. Like Barefoot Pookie. So he believed that everybody should have an equal share in the demo. That might have been cool. But once they did that, didn't go cool. Because we got infiltrated from the outside. And then the petty jealousies and stuff and not knowing how to not mess with your comrade's girlfriend and all that shit that you knew about before. Once they start violating that shit, you don't get unity out of that.
This is Los Angeles.